Well, welcome everyone to round 3 of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. The scene is set for the first qualifying of the weekend, and as you can see, the rain has been falling here in the Netherlands, but not at the moment. So this is going to be a very interesting qualifying session we have coming up. DTM has just been out on circuit to do a bit of a sweep of the track for us, so to speak. And right now the weather is holding off as the cars are in the pit lane ready to go. So this could be quite an interesting qualifying session coming up. Very, very windy here at the Zandvoort Circuit, as it has been throughout the pre-event collective tests so far. My name's Chris McCarthy. A real pleasure to have your company wherever you are joining us from. Welcome to you. What have you missed so far if you're joining us for the first time this season? Well, we've had 2 rounds of the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine FRECA, as it's otherwise known. 4 winners in 4 races so far. That's unknown in this championship. Usually we see a driver kind of take the championship by storm, but that's not really been the case so far this season. We've had 4 winners in 4 races. Matteo De Paolo, Evan Gilter, Enzo Deligny and Freddie Slater have been those drivers. In terms of qualifying, it's been a bit of a similar pattern. We've had 3 different pole sitters in Freddie Slater, Evan Gilter, and also Rashid Al-Dahiri as well, who was a little bit unfortunate not to go and convert that pole position into at least a podium. That leaves us with 23 points at the top between Matteo De Paolo, Evan Gilter, Enzo Deligny and Freddie Slater. Why do some drivers sit in pit lane and not have crash helmets on or in no bother to get this qualifying session underway? Well, to put it simply, this qualifying session of 26 drivers is going to be split into 2 groups. We have Group A, who are now out on circuit, as you can see, and we have Group B as well. It's going to be 2 sessions of 15 minutes, essentially. The groups are formed before the weekend. The drivers first, third, fifth, the odd numbers, if you like, in the championship go into Group A, and then the even numbers in the championship, they go into Group B. It's a bit of a head-to-head between the groups once they've both done their allocated time on circuit. The quicker group forms the inside row of the grid, and the slower group forms the outside row of the grid. Hopefully that all makes sense. In terms of groups, the highest place group in the championship goes first today. The roles reverse tomorrow. Group B will be out on circuit first tomorrow. Our first race will be at 5:45 later today. What the conditions will be when we go racing, then we will find out. But it's going to be very interesting indeed. So in this one we have Eduard Borgner, Hiyu Yamakoshi, Nandavud Bidambakti, our championship leader Matteo De Paolo, Rashid Al-Dahiri, Adi Kulkarni, Kanato Lee, Michael Belov, winner now Enzo Deligny, a Netflix star now, Dorian Pan. Hope you all enjoyed F1 The Academy. Dorian Pan, very much a star of that, and rightly so. She's done great in F1 Academy and continuing to do so this season, the Mercedes Junior. Great to have her back. Akshay Bora, who has been impressive so far this season. Likewise, Jack Beaton and Enzo Peugeot as well. Felt he had good pace in the car. Zandvoort Circuit, favourite amongst the drivers, speaking to the paddock yesterday. It's this downhill section through turns 7 and 8 where drivers were finding themselves getting caught out yesterday. We had some red flags throughout the second collective test yesterday. Drivers clipping curbs, and it was just spinning them around and off into the gravel. It's a circuit with huge elevation. To be honest, the pictures does not really give that off. You have to come here and experience it, and I highly recommend to do so. Very narrow circuit. 5 of the 8 pole sitters have won here. Only 1 pole sitter has not gone on to score any points at this circuit. All the rest have finished at least in the top 4. So this is a very crucial qualifying session we have coming up. Rashid Al-Dahiri got involved in a very unfortunate incident when he qualified pole, but proved he had pace in that car. Let's see what he can go and do. looking to make history for his country in this championship. He comes across the line now, and Rashid Al-Daheri goes to the top with a 1:43.706. To give you a flavour of what we've had over the pre-event collective tests, it was wet on Thursday, but dry on Friday, and we didn't get a huge amount of laps on that Thursday. So for some drivers, they haven't had many laps turned in the wet here. Our tests leading into this season were all done in the dry. So speaking to the likes of Taito Kato, he said he hadn't really done any laps in the wet until French F4 last season. So for the more experienced drivers, they'll be looking to take advantage of this situation. The likes of Kanato Lee, who now goes fastest, 1:43.040. They'll have to try and use that experience and take advantage over the rookie drivers, so to speak. Rashid Al-Daheri, we're watching him on screen now in that Yas Heat livery, doing a great job out there today so far. Hiyu Yamakoshi next along in the, we can see setting a purple first sector. Hiyu Yamakoshi's done a good job so far this season. He became the first Japanese driver to finish on the podium in this championship last time out. So let's see if he can convert that into a win. You can just see how much the rear is sliding. I was watching some of the other support classes through there earlier, and that is a corner that really does catch out the drivers. Round the banking now, on to the start-finish straight here at Zandvoort. Very quick circuit. We've got purples from the likes of Yamakoshi. Yamakoshi purple through 1 and 2. Let's pick up the Van Amersfoort Racing driver. Big weekend for them. They're the only Dutch team on the grid. They celebrate 50 years. Their last win in this championship came here with Kaz Haverkild in 2023, and that will do them nicely. Provisional pole position for Hiyu Yamakoshi. Well done to him so far. He is clear by 1.2 from the rest of the field, 1:41.772. Kanato Lee is then in second place. Great job from Kanato Lee. That's really impressive stuff from him. And then it's Enzo Peugeot, Michael Belov, Rashid Al-Daheri, Dorian Pan, Nandavud Pinambakti, Jack Beaton, Edward Borgner, Adi Kulkani, and then we have Matteo De Paolo, Akshay Bora. Enzo Deligny has waited, it seems, in pit lane. He's just come out onto circuit now. He's one of the championship contenders, currently third in the standings. We'll keep an eye on what he does, but Hiyu Yamakoshi really flying in that car. He's doing a great job, showing lots of confidence, and Van Amersfoort Racing in general were very quick in testing yesterday. Showed lots of pace across all three drivers, and I'd be interested to see if they can convert that today. Out now down to the heavy braking zone downhill. This is one where we can see the drivers get caught out, and Hiyu Yamakoshi just going wide there, almost into the gravel, and that's an exact example of what can happen, but he'll keep going on the exit. Ahead of him is Kanato Lee. He could be a big player this weekend, Kanato Lee. What about Enzo Deligny, though? He's done his prep lap. Now he's getting ready for his flying lap. We'll keep an eye on his sector times as everyone else comes in for their half-time break in this session to do a bit of a swap, and then they'll go back out on circuit. Okay, Enzo Deligny flying with confidence now in this championship. In fact, we pick up his teammate Akshay Bora. Akshay Bora, who's had a good start to the season himself. Let's pick up a replay of Akshay. Downhill. Oh, wow. See the left rear there, the amount of force going through it. Akshay Bora, we watch now. 13th in the championship. He's had a couple of point scores. Solid start to the season. Has shown good pace. Can he now convert and get himself into a place of a possible podium? Well, yes, he's gone to P2. So that would be a row 2 start for him. What about Enzo? Oh, Akshay Bora almost into the barriers there. Went wide under braking. That was a lucky save from Bora. Yamakoshi still 1.1 clear. Let's watch this again. Into the banking. Just a little bit too wide. Rears gave away, and Bora almost saw the end of his qualifying session at that moment. Here it is again. as he got off the circuit. There was no grip for him out there for Akshay. Enzo Deligny has just done a personal best lap, by the way, his teammate. P11 though, so he's either struggling or still building. I'm going to assume the latter for Enzo. Let's continue with Bora though. 35.9 through the first sector. Downhill now. Clips the curb through there. That looks good, and it's a purple second sector. Is this enough to challenge Hiyu Yamakoshi? Nice exit to the final two corners. Nandavud Bidambakti has just gone P3 for the Trident team. It's changing out there. Matteo De Paolo is also going fast. He's done a personal best sector 1, purple sector 2. So our championship leader going quickly. Akshay Bora we watch first over the line. He goes P2, only 3.5 tenths away. Where is Matteo De Paolo? Up to the line. Here comes Matteo De Paolo now, and that's going to be P2 for the Italian. He's been flying so far this season. Matteo De Paolo, 142.321 for the driver in the number 8. Yamakoshi, De Paolo, Bora, the gap, so 1 second between your top 3. Then it is Bidambakti, Lee, Peugeot, Belov, who you could expect with his experience could go well, but he's in a new team to the grid in CR Motorsport. Aldehiri, Dorian Pan, as Enzo Deligny just moves up the field to the left. You can see he's gone 3 green sectors and 2nd place. No one can close that gap down to Yamakoshi though. Is this the lap that it happens? We watched De Paolo. He's approaching traffic in Enzo Peugeot ahead, but he looks very smooth. You can see the difference there. Peugeot just struggling with grip, and De Paolo looked to have it nailed through the middle sector. Down now into the braking zone at turn 11 through turn 12. Another purple sector for De Paolo. This is looking good enough to challenge Yamakoshi. Does Enzo Peugeot ahead affect the lap here of De Paolo? Oh, a bit of a wiggle out of turn 13. I don't think that'll hurt him too much as Bora goes second and was only 62 thousandths away from a provisional pole position. Over the line, is this good enough for a provisional pole for De Paolo? It is, and he goes 4.5 tenths clear from the field. Well, that's the Matteo De Paolo we know from this season. He has gone clear at the top. Matteo De Paolo, fastest out front. The rest of the field, all they can do is watch on, and then they will know what their time to beat is. But that would be a first pole position for Matteo De Paolo if he can do it. We've seen him win. We have not seen him take pole position in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Enzo Deligny, though, his good friend, takes it straight back from him, 7.5 tenths. The track is developing so fast. The slick tyres are now on, and with that, the times are tumbling. There we see the slick tyres on Akshay Bora, and the times are just going to start diminishing. Look at this. You can see it's just a case of trying to stay on the circuit. The drivers in the other group, the advantage no doubt will go to them. I think unless it rains, this is a battle for who starts on the outside of the front row. Akshay Bora, rounds turn 13 through 14. Purple, second sector. It could be a case of last over the line goes fastest here. Across the line goes Akshay Bora, 1.1 seconds quicker. That's a very good time from Bora. You've just got to keep it on the road. There is the threat of a yellow flag, a red flag, anything in this session. You've got to keep improving every single lap. You cannot afford a mistake in this session now. Enzo Deligny on your screen. Everyone's improving out there. It's who's improving the most. It's Bora, Deligny, De Paolo, Yamakoshi. We said this is going to be an intriguing session. That's exactly what's turning out so far. Dorian Pan, P5. This is open to anyone to go to the front row here. Enzo Deligny round the final corner, up to the line. He's got a good toe down the start-finish straight. And Kanato Lee went briefly to second, but Enzo Deligny goes to provisional pole. Yamakoshi now round the final corner. Will this be enough for the Japanese driver to go to the top? Let's have a look as Rashid Al-Dahiri goes P3, Yamakoshi goes P2. Enzo Deligny's got the time of a 1:38.929. Green sectors everywhere. Group B drivers are ready, and all they'll hope is that the rain stays away now, because they can just keep improving on these times. These drivers will be hoping for the complete opposite. They'll be hoping that the rain falls and pole position will be theirs if that is the case. Bora flying out there. Here he comes round the final corner, down the start-finish straight. This looks very good from Akshay Bora. It's good enough to go fastest. On to the final laps. Final opportunities for drivers now. Akshay Bora will have one more chance to possibly beat a time that could be beaten here, because Hiryu Yamakoshi is improving. Also improving is Enzo Deligny. Also improving is Jack Beaton. Enzo Deligny looks like he's about to take that pole position back from Akshay Bora. Hiryu Yamakoshi likewise. This is a battle between the top three drivers here. Matteo De Paolo's going to cross the line. He looked like he just got across the line for one more lap. First across the line will be Enzo Deligny. What's it going to be from the Frenchman? Here he comes up to the line now. Has to go fastest. Up to the line he does. Okay, Enzo Deligny fastest, but what about Hiryu Yamakoshi? Provisionally, it's Enzo Deligny on pole. Here comes Hiryu Yamakoshi next to try and beat it. 1:37.4 to beat. Yamakoshi for Van Amersfoort Racing, second place. Can't do it. So it will be a second row, or will it? Because Akshay Bora and Matteo De Paolo are both improving. Matteo De Paolo, purple first sector. What about the second sector? I can tell you Akshay Bora has done a personal best first sector, a purple second sector. He's about to cross the line any second. There's the clock, bottom left. For Bora, he's about 5 seconds away, 10 seconds make that away from the line. Any second now, he'll be over. De Paolo is on your screen. Here comes Bora, up to the line now. Will it be good enough to go to pole? Yes, it is. 69 thousandths in it. But will De Paolo steal it and take his first pole position? He comes up to the line. There goes his teammate. Here comes De Paolo now. Matteo De Paolo to the line. Third place for De Paolo. Akshay Bora is your provisional pole sitter, and that would be a first pole position for Akshay Bora. What a performance, a driver new into the championship this season, and he's gone fastest in the tricky conditions. He adapted the fastest, and that is a superb performance from a driver in his first season of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Kanato Lee did not have the chance to improve. He went off at turn 1, and that cost him a chance of a top 5. He drops all the way to 8th place because of that, and he will be so disappointed with himself. Could have had the chance to fight for a front row start. Instead, he finds himself in 8th place. Jack Beaton, likewise, we didn't see much of him at the end, and I fear that was the reason why. Off down the hill at turn 11. Conditions changing all the time, and you had to improve with every single lap to keep the tyres up to temperature. But fastest was Akshay Bora. A great time from him. Of a 1:37.391. And that will be the time to beat going into the next session. Well, here's the classification. 1:37.391 for Bora, Enzo Deligny in second. 69 thousandths between them. Then De Paolo, Yamakoshi, Al-Dahiri, Jack Beaton, Michael Belov, Kanato Lee make a note of that time. Nando Woodbin Bhakti, Dorian Pan, Enzo Peugeot, Edward Borger, and then Adi Kulkarni towards the back of the field. Adi Kulkarni still getting used to things in this championship. So, Let's make a note of that one then. It was a 1:37.391. If the if the conditions stay as it is, you just expect those times to keep coming down. But if that's a front row start still, Akshay Bora has done a brilliant job there to go fastest within that group in a group that had experienced drivers around. He's new to the championship this season. And really impressive stuff from the RHGP driver. Enzo Deligny behind him, looking at Akshay Bora's performances so far this season. 14th, 8th, 7th and 6th in qualifying, so he's been consistently going into the top 10. But for the driver 13th in the championship, he has a great chance to get his first podium in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Enzo Deligny in second place, DePaul in third. So for the championship, that's good for them. And now we cross over to the other two drivers in that four-way tussle, so to speak, in Evan Gilter and Freddie Slater. And for them, it's now they have the pressure to perform. They have to be within those front three rows. Hiyu Yamakoshi was well involved in that fight. Rashid Al-Daheri, 5th place for him. Jack Beaton, Balov, Kanato Lee has shown these drivers what a mistake on the final lap can do, because he was well up there in that fight. Let's go through the next drivers, though. We've could talk about Group A for a long time. There'll be more reaction on our socials, so keep an eye on that. Ricky Liu is in this session. He's going to be out there in the number 5 car. And then we have Nikita Bedrin, very experienced. He's in the number 10. Jin Nakamura is in the 11. Sakir Al-Mashirji is in the 16. Ye Rehar is in the 21. And then it's Pedro Clero. Freddie Slater. Tim Gerhardt, the Dutch driver, will have lots of support. Dion Gouda is in the 55, the rookie. And then Taito Kato, who did say he's still getting used to driving in the wet conditions in this car to me earlier. Evan Gilter, Yaroslav Veselau, Giovanni Maschio, who was very much looking forward to wet conditions, but you can see this is sort of in between, isn't it? Slick tyres are on the car, slick tyres are on, the rain is starting to fall. So they have to nail this first lap now, you feel. If that's the rain falling and it keeps going, then this is a race against time to get a lap in here. How intriguing. Because if it does just continue to rain, that time of a 1:37.391 from Akshay Bora will not get beaten, and it would be pole position for Akshay. Oh, and that won't help. That's the number 10, Nikita Bedrin, who's come to a stop, the Santalok Racing driver. And that's a full course yellow. Well, that's not going to help if the rain is out there falling. What's happened to Nikita? Well, we have to get that car recovered. A real shame for him. He will go from the back of the field. Won't be able to set a time unless he can get that one going. He still looks like he's trying to get the car moving. And the rain is coming down in pit lane. There's Freddie Slater, the 27. Intriguing stuff. In the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine, 11.5 minutes to go, and while Nikita Bedrin is getting out of the car, and this session could come to a complete stop here for a while. Yep, no surprise, red flag. Driver on the circuit. You can't have cars going round. Red flag is out then. All the cars will come back to pit lane. The clock will stop, and there will be drivers almost putting their hands out of the cars here to see if the rain is continuing to fall, because as long as it is, then the time of Akshay Bora is going to... That's going to It's going to be a struggle to beat that. And I'm almost tempted to ask Brian Oliver, who's next to me, to go and check if is it raining? So I'm going to send assistants out because I can't quite tell. It's spitting with rain. Okay, nice. There we go. I have to use the assistants. I can't tell on my own. Well, it's a red flag. Why not? 11 minutes and 15 seconds. The car's being retrieved. So our weatherman Brian is telling us it's spitting with rain, and that if it's only spitting with rain, as long as the cars can get some tyres into the temperature, that should help them challenge that time. But they'll have to get some heat cycle into those tyres first before they can go and start challenging. This is not what they wanted for Akshay Bora and the RSGP team. They'll be more than happy with this situation. Not too sure exactly what happened to Nikita Bedrin. We'll give you some more information of that in the race later if we can. But good to see he was jumping out of the car, walking away from it, and the marshals get to work to retrieve that. I think the cars do demonstrate the situation with what we have there. To remind you of the qualifying format, welcome if you are new. This is round 3 of Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. Essentially, we've had our first qualifying group. We've had Group A go out, the odd-numbered positions in the championship. They've set a time. The quickest time in that group was set by new driver to the championship this season, Akshay Bora. Not officially classified as a rookie, but nevertheless, we can call him that. 137.391. The task of the second group now, Group B, which is your even numbered in the championship, is to try and beat that if they're to start on the inside row of the grid. If they don't, then Akshay Bora will be our pole sitter. He'll start on pole position, and all the drivers that were classified behind will form the inside row of the grid, and this will essentially become the fight for second. That's how it works. Nikita Bedrin is being pushed back. That session, if you just join us now, took part in changing conditions. They did come in. We had slick tyres on the cars, and we saw improvements of up to 1 second every single lap. It was a case of who crossed the line last, quite literally, and on the last lap, everyone improved. If you didn't improve, you dropped position. So it was a fight between 4 drivers at the end who really did improve, and actually Bora, the one who improved the most. 90 seconds away for getting this one underway. We're here supporting DTM this weekend, and this is one of the events that attracts our biggest crowd of this season. There's going to be a huge amount of support for the Van Amersfoort racing team. Tim Gerhards as well. I'm sure we'll get lots of support in the number 50, but we are going to do an autograph session on Sunday if you're planning to come and visit us. And that is where last year we quite literally had to tell the drivers they had to leave because they had to get lunch. There was so much support for the drivers. So it is a really lovely event, a lovely atmosphere, and for obvious reasons, they love their single-seater racing here at Zandvoort, as well as coming to support the DTM. They love seeing who are the next drivers coming through. Right now, 4 drivers in Formula 1, 4 current drivers have come through the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. We, of course, have Kimi Antonelli, who was crowned champion here in 2023 in the wet conditions, came through from P12 to P1. That was shown in the documentary, The Seat. Actually, you would have seen clips of that. And we have Gabriel Bortoletto also racing in there. Isaac Hajar, our rookie champion from our very first season. And Franco Colapinto, who raced with him that season as well. 39 drivers overall now racing F1, F2, F3, F1 Academy, and Porsche Supercup. So we're quite busy in terms of alumni. Okay, green flag is out. This our road to 100 races this season for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine. When we get to the checkered flag at Monza later in the year, it will be 100 races complete. What a journey it's been for the championship en route to that. We've claimed some great champions. Who's going to be the 5th to join Gregoire Saucy, who will race in the 24-hour of Le Mans this year? Dino Beganovic now racing for Formula 2 and drove a Ferrari Formula 1 car earlier this year in free practice. Kimi Antonelli, now a Mercedes driver, and Rafa Kamara, who is breaking records in FIA Formula 3, now holds the record for 4 pole positions in Formula 3 and is leading by 26 points in that championship. Who will be next to join them and go on the road to Formula 1 in the Road to 100 races in the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine? Well, Akshay Bora will put his hand up. He's just taken provisional pole position. But so would this driver, Freddie Slater. He has been on fire this season. Fast Freddie Slater, one of his competitors, called him yesterday. 2 podiums, 2 DNFs. So he himself just said he needs to just get the consistency going. Once he's got that, he feels he can really go and move up the championship standings. 4th for him. Down the start-finish straight. He had a great outing in Formula 3 earlier this year, on the podium straight away. But full focus now on this championship. He actually was out in GB3 as well. Came from last to 1st at Spa. So that was a really impressive outing in mixed conditions as well. So likes his mixed conditions. He's a British driver. Let's see what fast Freddie Slater can do. Again, the time to beat, to remind you of the situation, is a 1:37.391. Rain possibly in the air. It's a race against time here to try and beat that. Got to keep it on the circuit though. Can't afford yellow flags, red flags, because the rain can fall very hard at any second. It's due to rain all day, so the fact we've been given this window is very fortunate, and it's spitting out there. We've got it on the camera lenses. All the drivers will have been given that instruction. Get out there, get a time in, try and beat 1:37.391. Smooth as you like from Freddie. Through turns 11 and 12, and now up to 13, 8 minutes to go. Will this be enough to challenge that 1:37 time? This will give us a good benchmark of where we are at in this session. Here he comes up to the line now. This is looking very good from Freddie Slater. Oh, 1:34.756. Well, this is the fight now for pole position overall. Akshay Bora will be confirmed on the outside of the front row. So what can the rest of the field do? Jin Nakamura has just gone second, 1.5 tenths back. We did say as long as it stayed dry, this group would be the faster one, and it stayed dry enough for them to continue that. Pedro Claro looking to put Van Amersfoort Racing on pole on their home race. What has been got to say, a memorable few weeks for them across the board. Can he keep that run going? Claro 3rd, Gilter 4th, Gauda 5th, Taito Kato 6th, and it's Gerhard Maschio, Vesselau, Liu, and we're just waiting for Bedrin is out the session, of course, but we're waiting for Al-Masergi and Ye to come across the line. Oh no, Giovanni Maschio is out, and that front right suspension completely folded in, and that's going to be another red flag in this session. Off at the banking. That was where Akshay Bora nearly ended his session earlier. He was just a few meters away from ending his session. In the end, he went fastest. It's a corner where you put it all on the line, and well, Maschio actually lost it really early into there. Hopefully he's okay. We've seen drivers have impacts into there and sustain some injuries, so hopefully Giovanni Maschio is okay. But the conditions on these slick tyres, whilst they're getting the tyres up to temperature, very, very tricky. And it's really easy for the car to just snap, oversteer. And he gives the thumbs up to say he's okay, so that's good news from Maschio. Well, we did see Akshay Bora have a big moment into there, and he was able to save the car, get himself back going again. And that's just the ones we've seen on camera. I'm sure there's been others as well that we haven't seen. But Maschio climbs out the car. A shame for him. He had his best results in the championship at Spa. He said he enjoys the wet conditions, and he would have been really pushing to go and fight for his best qualifying performance. But sadly not to be, and he will just be now taken away from the circuit. This conditions that do provide just the biggest opportunity to go and get a good result. That very much proven in our results earlier. Let's just assess where we are in terms of the results. We haven't really seen all the drivers, I'd say, at their best result just yet. Freddie Slater was 1.5 tenths ahead of Jin Nakamura, and then it was Pedro Claro, Evan Gilter, Dion Gauda, Taito Kato, Tim Gerhardt, Yaroslav Veselau, Ricky Liu, and Ye was in 10th. Al Masergi didn't quite get a time on the board. So that's 2 drivers who've been taken prisoner now from the conditions. I'd say Bedrim was more, that looked more terminal than it did, sort of more mechanical faults than it did the conditions. Maschio, certainly, that was the conditions that got the better of him there. We'll try and get to the bottom of exactly what happened to Nikita Bedrin after the session. But the marshals quickly getting to work to retrieve that car, and then we can get back going again. This makes things even more tough now for the drivers, because it will be 6.5 minutes to try and get heat into the tyres, get a lap on the board. And like we saw last time, as long as the conditions stay like this, last across the line will be fastest times, and it will have to be you improve on every lap. And if you don't improve on that last lap, even drivers like the driver we have on screen who just went fastest, Freddie Slater, could come under threat. So he'll know that in this session. But that will give him confidence in the car. We're going to be resuming in 30 seconds. XLGP there, just pushing Sakir Al-Masergi into position, who hadn't really done a lot in the last 1.5 years. He was telling me yesterday it's been a little while for him, so just developing back into being in the race seat again, and with a team who are brand new to this championship. They've not a new face if you follow the Middle East Championship, but new to certainly this championship, and trying to help Sakir Al-Masergi get back in the swing of things. And Adi Kulkarni, who is a graduate of GB3. Good to see him again. I remember talking to him when he was a driver in the British Kart Championships just 3 years ago. He's had a fast development. And the rain looks to be coming down a little bit more intensely now. Yeah, weatherman Brian confirming that it's coming down a little bit harder. So does that time of Freddie Slater get beaten? Let's find out. Well, the likes of Taito Kato, Ricky Liu, Tim Gerhardt, all of the drivers really who didn't fully get to their pace on that first lap. This is where they really will want to go and improve. Freddie Slater for now would be pole position, and if he can stay there, it would be a 3rd pole position of the season. Downhill, he's quickly up to speed, isn't he? Pushing very hard, wasting no time out the pit lane, and weaving to try and just get heat through the tyres sign of confidence that Freddie Slater happy to release the rears there out of the last corner. Very comfortable in this car already, over the line. Let's see what the sector times tell us here. It looks tentative through turn 1, and Slater fighting with the car there. But this all good experience, even if they don't go faster for the races, because we are due these conditions all weekend. Uphill now, this where the elevation really changes. I think opportunities for the drivers lower down to still improve here. Or is there? 2.2 off through sector 1. Oh, that's the number 21. Yay, Reha is off. And are we going to see any improvements in this session now? It's only the first flying lap. With more heat in the tyres, do we see any improvement? What happened to the driver from Shanghai? Lock up into turn 1. Got the car going again though. And it's really treacherous out there. Down a corner, we often see the yellows out in all the sessions. Change of elevation into the corner. We're more at the pace that we had in the first session here. 1:38.4. Saki Al-Maserji's got an opportunity to go and get a time on the board. Taito Kato is improving in the second sector. It seems the first sector is where they're really struggling. But the second sector, Taito Kato did improve, but didn't improve his overall lap. Slater through the first sector. Not down so much that time. Will there be any opportunity, I wonder, on the last lap? I'm not too sure. I say that in hope for the drivers out there that they get an opportunity, but I'm really not sure it's going to happen. I think the field we look at may well be as it is, because that timing screen is staying one colour. Tim Gerhardt, well, that will bring a smile to the face of the crowd. He currently the only driver to improve on that lap. Slater this time, that's a good second sector actually, only half a second away from his best over the line. And wow, purple last sector. Well, is it over? It's clearly quicker in places, and now the field are finding that pace that we're seeing on our screen. Pedro Claro has just done a purple last sector, and all of a sudden everyone's going quicker. Taito Kato's just gone 4th, and we could have a last lap shootout here. I think Freddie Slater might get 2 more laps possibly, but this is it. This is the lap everyone has to improve. Last lap shootout incoming. First sectors have to be better. Let's see them through the first sector. Freddie Slater, 32.4, 32.3 for Claro. So Claro's looking good on this first sector. Jin Nakamura a little bit slower. The first sector's very mixed. 32.1 for Evan Gilter. Don't count him out yet. 32.1 for the Frenchman in 5th, who's fighting for the championship. Slater, 32.5, so he's matched his best second sector. 32.5 from Nakamura, 32.6 from Claro. Taito Kato, I wait for him. Let's watch Slater through the final corner. He will take the flag. over the line and does improve. 133.4 over to the rest of the field, who all have improved through the second sector. The one who looks the quickest is Evan Gilter. He looks the fastest. Claro looks fastest as well, and Claro goes top. Provisional pole position for Pedro Claro, 133.4 by 15 thousandths of a second. But what about Evan Gilter? He looks very fast. Up to the line he goes now. Will this be fastest third? 34 thousandths back for Evan Gilter. There was just 34 thousandths between your top three. It all changed at the end, and it will be a Van Amersfoort Racing pole position on home soil. What a result for Pedro Claro, taking pole position for the Dutch team at their home race. That is a first pole position for Pedro Claro, and that will give huge celebrations for the Van Amersfoort Racing team. They took pole position here with Kaz Havercourt in 2023. That was their last victory in this championship. Will we see a repeat for the Van Amersfoort Racing team? And Pedro Claro going to the top step of the podium for the first time in this championship. What a story it would be. He's stolen pole position from Freddie Slater right at the end of the session. He had a tough outing at Spa last time, but that's a way to bounce back, and you can see what it means to him in the car. Fought all the way to the end, and he was 15 thousandths quicker than Freddie Slater. 133.443 was the time. Slater second, Gilter third, and it was a case of drivers who were last over the line. Gilter came over the line as one of the last cars, but just missed out in the end. So it is pole position on home soil for Van Amersfoort Racing. Pedro Claro takes his first pole position, putting Van Amersfoort on pole here, just like they were in 2023. Freddie Slater second, then Evan Gilter, Taito Kato, Jin Nakamura, Tim Gerhardt. That's one of his best performances in P6 on home soil. Dion Gauda, Yaroslav Veselau in P8. Ricky Liu, Ye Reha in 10th, and then it's Saki Almasergi, and then the drivers who were out. Nikita Bedrin came to a halt, Giovanni Maschio crashing at the banking. Well, the top three, only 34 thousandths between them, and it was Evan Gilter last across the line. Didn't quite get it, but a crucial improvement for him in terms of championship. He's in there in the fight now, as is Freddie Slater. Denied a third pole position, but he'll be starting third on the grid and has a chance to get some podiums. Fastest, though, was the 22 Van Amersfoort Racing car of Pedro Claro, and that a brilliant result for the Dutch team. Their home race, they celebrate 50 years, and that is their first pole position of the season. Can they now get their first win since 2023, where they last won here with Kaz Havercourt? You'll have to join us for what could be a great story that plays out 5:45 local time here at Zandvoort. That will be race one for the Formula Regional European Championship by Alpine.